What is up, guys? It is RSC6414 here, back with another video. This time I'm reviewing TNA Impact Wrestling. Ended about 30 minutes ago on Spike back on Wednesday night, again for the second week since they changed to Wednesday nights, and it'll be on Wednesday night throughout the year, so just remember that. And overall, I gotta say the episode was pretty good. I enjoyed it. TNA continues putting on good shows of Impact, good episodes for the past month and a half, with the exception of last week. I thought every episode was pretty damn good. And even last week it wasn't just god awful. Just the main event kind of ruined it. But enough of me talking about the past few weeks. Overall, good show, better than Raw in my opinion. And let's go ahead and get to the review. First thing we have here, we have Bobby Lashley, or Kurt Angle comes out in the crowd. He hypes up the show, talking about the matches. Then here comes MVP, Bobby Lashley, or Lashley as he's called now in TNA, and Kenny King make their way to the ring. MVP basically talks and puts over the world champ Lashley. They come out. Bobby Dreamer comes out, walks to the ring with a mic. He talks about the friendship with MVP, calling him one of the most underrated talents he's ever seen, but has a problem with his mouth. He called Kenny King a sellout and called Lashley the most dominant champion this business has ever seen. Tommy Dreamer gets taken out by Kenny King. Tommy Dreamer gets back in the ring, grabs a kendo stick. Kurt Angle says, since they want to fight, let's have a New York street fight right now. So Lashley versus Tommy Dreamer opens up the show with a New York City street fight, non-title match. This match was back and forth. It was a decent match to open up the show. Use of trash cans, kendo sticks, a belly suplex on the ramp at one point by Lashley. Tommy Dreamer is going to hit Lashley with a kendo stick off the top rope. He jumps. Lashley punches Tommy Dreamer, sets up, hits the spear on Tommy Dreamer for the 1, 2, 3, and Lashley defeats Tommy Dreamer in the New York City street fight to open up the show. So Lashley picks up the win. Next we have a little Jessica Havoc vignette teasing her debut for next week. So she's debuting next week on Impact. Definitely one of my favorite women's wrestlers in period in wrestling, so it'll be cool seeing her in TNA. Good addition to the Knockouts. Next we have a little segment of Samuel Shaw drawing something in Gunner's hotel room, drawing the New York skyline. Gunner gets a text, he leaves the room. Samuel Shaw, there's a military suit over in the closet that used to be Gunner's army gear. Samuel Shaw goes over there, checks it out, and we go to a match, Taryn Terrell versus Madison Rayne. Winner becomes the official #1 contender for the TNA Knockouts Championship. This match was good. I enjoyed it. Back and forth, good women's wrestling match. One point, Taryn hit a flying crossbody for a near fall. Madison tried using the ropes as leverage for a pin. The referee catches her. Taryn Terrell hits a cutter out of nowhere for the 1, 2, 3, and Taryn Terrell defeats Madison Rayne to become the official #1 contender to go on and face off against Gail Kim sometime in the future. That'll be a good match. They've had history together. Remember Slammiversary 2013 last year. That last Knockout Standing was a great match, and they had a couple good matches on Impact, and now this. So hopefully, I'd like to see Taryn Terrell as Knockouts champ. I think it'd be good. And Taryn Terrell is definitely one of my favorite knockouts, so I'd like to see her as Knockouts champion. I think that'd be cool, and should be a good match. Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell in the future. Next, we have Bobby Roode going to Kurt Angle's office to determine the new #1 contender. After that, EY and Roode hit the floor at the same time, escaping the cage last week. To determine the #1 contender, they go meet in Kurt's office to figure it out. Next, we have Gunner returns to his hotel room. He sees Samuel Shaw in the camouflage army suit. Shaw salutes him. Gunner tells Shaw to take the suit off, or Gunner will take it off for him. So maybe sometime in the future, I don't know if that's a little indication that we should watch out. Maybe Gunner and Samuel Shaw. Been waiting for Samuel Shaw to turn heel again, so we'll see. Next match we have Homicide, DJZ, and Manic versus Low-Key, Tigre Uno, and Crazy Steve in a 3-on-3 match. 3-on-3 match with X Division wrestlers. Interesting match here that they put. I guess it's a good way to continue keeping the X Division alive and the X Division action. This match was a short match, but it was a good match. X Division action all over the place is what you want. Each guy gets in the match at one point, does their moves, does their stuff. Low Key would eventually hit the Key Crusher on Manic for the 1, 2, 3. Low Key, Tigre Uno, and Crazy Steve pick up the win over Homicide, DJZ, and Manic. So good X Division 3-on-3 tag action with X Division wrestlers, basically. It was an interesting twist instead of just having your regular 3-on-3 triple threat or three-way matches or your regular six-man matches for the championship. So good twist. Now we've got Rhino cuts a promo backstage. He says he's going to take EC3 out. Then we go to the ring. Bobby Roode comes to the ring, talks about last week's main event. He said Kurt Angle said we're going to settle this next week, one-on-one. Bobby Roode versus Eric Young. Winner becomes the official #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. That match will happen next week on Impact. Eric Young comes out. He puts over Bobby Roode. They talk back and forth. EY says he's going to take Bobby Roode out. Bobby Roode says he's going to take EY out, but they say they're best friends, yada, yada, yada. Basically just saying that they're face and we're friends, but we're not going to hesitate on beating your ass, is basically what they said. Next, we've got EC3 versus Rhino. This match was back and forth. You had at one point EC3 low blow Rhino for a near fall while the ref was getting distracted. Then EC3 hits Rhino with a chair. This time the ref sees his underhanded heel tactics. EC3 keeps hitting Rhino with the chair. Spud tries to come in and break it up. EC3 almost hits Spud with a chair. He stops, drops the chair, and they leave the ring. So this vicious EC3 side, aggressive side that we haven't seen as much of, continues. Rhino picks up the win via disqualification after EC3 hit him with a chair continuously. Then we have a backstage segment again. The Bromans and DJZ were backstage on Tinder competition to see who they get the most matches of. DJZ says Robbie and Jesse tied. They both realize they got matched with a TNA knockout, Jesse and Robbie. My guess is it's probably the same exact TNA knockout, and they're going to have like a competition to see which guy gets the knockout kind of thing. Maybe a little storyline with that, and the Bromans, who knows, maybe they end up breaking up. I hope not, because honestly the Bromans, to me, a lot of people don't like them, but I think they're entertaining, so I'd like to see them stick together, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a storyline and they got matched with the same knockout kind of thing, and that leads to the breakup of the Bromans, but we'll see what happens. Bros before hoes. But the next match we have Great Sonata versus Austin Aries, the repackaged Sonata, calling himself the Great Sonata. He comes out with the yellow face paint with little black Chinese symbols, looking a lot like the Great Muta. Different hair, different wrestling attire. Taking on Austin Aries. James Storm ringside. This match was back and forth. At one point, James Storm took out, or at one point, Sonata James Storm shoved Austin Aries off the top rope. Sonata was distracting the referee, and basically Sonata super kicks Austin Aries, spits green mist in his face, super kicks Austin Aries while the ref is not looking, while James Storm is distracting him. Pins Aries for the 1, 2, 3. Great Sonata picks up the win over his rival Austin Aries. Repackaged Sonata picks up the win as you'd expect. Looks like he's using the wrestling style a lot like Great Muta with the green mist, the face paint, the attire even at some point. So just similar stuff. I guarantee you we're going to see a match between Sonata and Muta at Bound for Glory. They had another commercial for Bound for Glory from Japan. We haven't seen that in about 3 weeks, so I guess that's a good sign that they're going to continue hyping up Bound for Glory. Would not be surprised after Sonata turned on Muta that I almost guarantee a teacher versus pupil kind of student match at Bound for Glory, so that'll be interesting. And then we've got Chris Melendez, the Wounded Warrior, comes out with talks about his story of being trained as a pro wrestler, how he lost his leg at war. Mr. Anderson and Devon and Bully Ray are in the ring. They all talk over. Anderson puts over Melendez, says thank you for your service. He got a call from the guy who's head of Wounded Warrior a while back, and that's how this was all set up. Team 3D trained Chris Melendez at Team 3D Academy, and that's how he's become a wrestler. They charged him free of charge because he served our country, and that was basically it, just kind of getting him over. USA chants broke out, and that was that. Then we go to our main event. It was a cool story though with Chris Melendez, so I'm interested to see who they'll pair him up against or what they have him do. So it'll be cool and interesting. So go Melendez. Next match, main event, the first match of the tag title series that was announced last week by Kurt Angle. There's a series of 3 matches. The winner of each match picks their opponent next week, and the one who's won the most matches at the end becomes new tag team champions. First match we have to kick off the series, the Hardys versus the Wolves versus Team 3D. First match of the tag title series, obviously non-tag title action. This match was a good match. I was hoping it'd get more time, but it only got about 9 or 10 minutes at the end of the night. And it was a good match for the time it got. I thought it was the best match of the night. As expected, it delivered with the amount of time it got. I thought it could have gotten about 15, but they gave it about 10. High flying action all over the place. Team 3D would eventually hit the 3D on Eddie Edwards for the 1, 2, 3. And Team 3D picks up the win after hitting 3D, the finisher on Eddie Edwards of the Wolves, getting the pin and the win. And Team 3D kicks off the series with a win. I would not be surprised if we see Team 3D end up becoming tag team champions after this series is up. They pick who they're going to face next week. Next week they'll pick who they'll face. Overall, match was good. Good way to end the show. Good stuff. Good episode of Impact again. Overall grade, I'd give this show 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the review. Check out my other videos and subscribe. I'll be back with a TNA review next week. Thanks for watching. RSC 6414. Deuces.